Hello YouTube! My name is Paul and I'm a reformed nerd. This is my first video and I thought it would be a good idea to give you a bit of an introduction as to my intent with this channel and my background in gaming. To start with, while growing up, I was always interested in gaming. Early on, I would hijack my brother's Atari or Commodore 64, and I can remember playing hours on Pitfall or Skool Daze and Spy vs. Spy. Around 6, I was lucky enough to get a Super Nintendo for Christmas, despite the Nintendo already being a few years old by that point. But after booting it up for the first time, I was hooked. I invested hours upon hours each day on that system. Looking back, I can still play good chunks of the soundtrack of some of my favorite games like Pacific Theater of Operation 2, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, and Earthbound. I also remember getting into trouble with my brother for constantly breaking into his laptop to play Warcraft 3, Diablo, and StarCraft, regardless of how many times he tried to keep me out of it. Sadly, once I hit high school and university, my time for games diminished. Despite picking up a PS2 and a decent laptop, I was only really able to make time for the occasional session of Guitar Hero, Grand Theft Auto 3, or Rome Total War. Eventually, the lack of time took me away from gaming until I left behind gaming and my other geek passions, like anime or Magic the Gathering, in pursuit of frivolous things like a family and a career. After giving up my pursuits and joining normal society, I rarely gave a thought as to what was going on in the hobbies I had left behind. That is until December 11th, 2015. Excited by the return of Mystery Science Theater 3000, I tuned in to watch the Livestream countdown to the Kickstarter campaign, which featured the Game Grumps. Prior to this, I didn't know Let's Plays were a thing. I spent the rest of 2015 binging Game Grumps content, thrilled by the concept that I could watch other people play games while I worked on other things. 3 years on, I passionately watch multiple channels and I've seen many games that have piqued my interest to such an extent that I can no longer be satisfied living vicariously through other people's gameplay footage. As such, I wanted to invite whomever is interested to come along with me on this journey as a nerd returns to his passions after a solid decade of neglect. On this channel, I aim to dust off my severely atrophied skills and boot up some of the games that I used to love to remind myself what made them great. Or, equally possible, remind myself that nostalgic value counts for very little in gaming. If you find the prospect of watching a slightly older gentleman poorly play games entertaining, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. I aim to post a couple of videos per week of either an old or a new game, along with the occasional bonus video about random topics that related to my return to nerddom. However, if you are interested in the latest AAA games, or frankly, just watching someone good at games in general, I warn you that this is probably not the channel for you. Regardless, I am certainly anxious to start this process, and I thank you in advance for your interest. I aim to have my first gameplay videos posted by the end of the week, and we'll see where this takes us. Until then, have a great day.